Okay, class, I will play the video exploring ocean depths now. But remember one thing, that this is an interactive video on Egg Puzzle, as you can see. And it will pause at certain points in order to ask questions. Therefore, make sure to answer them in order to check your understanding. I expect you to listen with rapt attention so that you can be able to grasp all important details in order to facilitate you answering the comprehension questions. So at this juncture, let me quickly play the video on Egg Puzzle, and when it's time to answer questions, I'll call anyone at random to answer the question. So therefore, I expect everyone to pay attention. Good. So let's play our video right on Egg Puzzle.
Sometimes the world feels boring. We've visited all the remote islands, conquered the Arctic, and penetrated the deepest jungles. But there is still one place to explore. It's a wet and deadly desert inhabited by mysterious creatures living in total darkness. The deep sea. Let's dive down. When we look at the sheer scale of the Earth's oceans, it's hard to believe that less than 2% of all biomass on Earth lives here. And of that small percentage, around 90% is located close to the surface in the first 200 meters. This is where we begin our journey. Here, light can still penetrate the water, which allows photosynthesis to occur. Phytoplankton, trillions and trillions of single-celled algae and bacteria make up the foundation of the ocean's ecosystem, and they're consumed by bigger plankton who are consumed by other species. The seafloor at this depth is akin to the Amazon rainforest and is often covered with coral reefs, algae and other sea plants that are home to a plethora of sea animals.
Okay, so here we go with our first question. At this point, we pause. Let's take our question and then we see. Let me invite Anne. Yes, Anne, the question is, according to the video we just watched, the first part, the sea floor at this depth is like what? It was mentioned in the video. It's like what? Okay, so the options are the Amazon rainforest, desert, and then mountains. What do you think? Amazon rainforest? Okay, let's check. Let's find out. Good. Now let's submit to find out whether we are correct or not. Good. Very good. That's correct, because according to the video, the depth is akin to what? The Amazon rainforest. That's very good. That means that we are really paying attention and taking important notes of the video. So let's continue watching.
So far, we've focused most of our attention on this comparatively pleasant environment where we fish, swim, pollute, and do science. So, let's dive deeper. Moving from familiar coastal waters into deeper, more remote waters, we eventually reach the edge of the continental shelf, where we're confronted with the continental slope, the long descent down to the deep sea. With every additional meter of water, light fades drastically, which means there are basically no more plants, and the seemingly steep continental slope begins to remind us of the surface of the moon. Looking out, we're faced.
Okay, so here we go with our next question. This time I'll invite Ibrahim to answer the next question for us. Ibrahim, I'm sure you'll be watching the video with rapt attention. So, yes, here goes the question. The continental slope reminds us of what, according to the video? Yes? What's your answer? Oh, surface of the moon? You sure about that? Okay, let's check. Good. according to the video we watched, the continental slope that was mentioned in the video reminds us of what? The surface of the moon. That's good. So let's continue watching. Let's continue.
Looking out, we're faced by what seems to be endless open water. Let's leave the slope behind us and enter what's known as the Twilight Zone, the portal to the deep sea. As we sink down further, the water pressure rises to deadly levels. The deepest scuba dive ever came in at 332 meters. At that depth, the pressure is like having 200 cars stacked on top of you. Yet we've only completed 3% of our journey. While this region seems pretty grim, many fish and other animals actually spend at least half their lives down here. During the day, it's a good place to rest and recover, hidden from predators in the vast, dark waters. At night, they can travel more safely into shallower zones to feed in the food-rich surface waters. In this transition zone between twilight and darkness, light becomes a powerful tool. Over 90% of the species indigenous to this deep environment use bioluminescence chemicals to create light. They do so as
Good, so let's take our next question, and this time around I'll call on Kumar. Kumar, give us the answer to the question over there. What was the question? Yes. 90% of species who live at this depth can create light. So what depth are we talking about here? 90% of species who live at this depth can create light. Is this true or false? I mean, the depth we just watched. False? You think so? Final answer false? Okay, let's verify. Okay. Oh, sorry. It means the correct answer is supposed to be true, right? Now let's rewatch that portion just to be sure that the correct answer is actually true and not false. So let's rewatch that just to confirm. Yes.
In this transition zone between twilight and darkness, light becomes a powerful tool. Over 90% of the species indigenous to this deep environment use bioluminescence chemicals to create light. They do so.
Good. So basically,